Welcome in, everybody, to the Nintendo Rewind. My name is Cody Christian, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Josh Taylor. Welcome back, Josh. It's about dang time you're here. And Chris Beckerson, Super Nintendo Dad, a.k.a. the dad of Nintendo himself. I mean, you're Mario's daddy now. We're rewinding, and I will get my words out. I am feeling under the weather, if you can't tell by how I sound right now, which is extremely nasally. But we're rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo. But before we dive in, Josh, Chris, how's it going, peeps? How you guys doing?
He's going first. I got a lot.
Oh, okay. Chris, how's it? Chris Beckerson, how's it going?
Let's go.
Oh, marvelous. I'm doing marvelous. You know, just hanging out, living my life. I got some chocolate-covered pretzels. Those were good. In terms of my week, how I'm doing, I'm going to say pretty good. In terms of what I've been playing, my goodness, what haven't I been playing? I actually played some SteamWorld Heist 2. Marvelous. I like it a bit.
Just a
I'm
bit?
not gonna
not on a scale of 1 to 10, a bit. Like, is that like a 3, a 2?
This is a bit, but I will say, like, so far, like, between a 7 and an 8.
Ooh, that's a high score. Did you like the first one?
I liked the first one, but it was probably, like, my least favorite of the SteamWorld games until Build came out.
I get that.
But yeah, but then I also been playing World of Goo 2. Shout out to it.
Shout out to World of Goo. You people at you developer company, you.
Yeah. I've been playing it a lot more with the touch controls, and that's definitely the way to go.
Man, I really want to jump into World of Goo 2. I was so torn on like the indies that did release, because it's like World of Goo, Thank Goodness You're Here is out. There's a couple of other things. I really want to play Thank Goodness You're Here. I've just been kind of waiting on it, and I probably shouldn't because it's on sale for like $16 instead of the full $20. But like, what I chose to play instead was Supermarket Simulator on Steam. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I want to try it out, but how are you feeling about World of Goo 2? Like, World of Goo seems like just more World of Goo.
It does seem like just more World of Goo. I haven't gotten to any section that adds things that weren't in the first one, but I was using it. It has to use the Joy-Cons, but it makes you use both of them. So it's like you can just like build faster that way, I guess. You're
just like putting your goo balls on everything.
Yeah, but the problem was the way I guess maybe I'm sitting. It's just looking at the monitor, but the Joy-Cons kept getting out of whack, and I had to keep hitting the button to reset them into the center spot, and I was not about that life, so I just switched to the touch controls. But yeah, that's a $29.99 that game. That's a big jump.
That is a very expensive leap compared to what the original WiiWare title of that was. Like, what was that? Like a $10 game back in the day? $5, even worse.
Was it 500 points?
Not it was I think it was it 1,000 or whatever it was?
Probably 1,000 points. I'm not sure there.
I need to look that up now.
Or just $10.
You gotta stall while I'm looking it up.
Because I know it is World of Goo is $15 on the Switch right now. So even just the Switch version compared to the Switch version of 2 is $15 difference. Plus, then not only that, but I haven't seen anyone talk about it.
It was 1,500 WiiWare points or whatever that is.
Oh,
it was 1,500.
$15.
Okay, yeah.
What the heck? So it's not that big of a leap, I guess. I mean, it's twice the price, but holy cow.
Yeah, quite the increase. I mean, this is like,
Switch tax.
What do you think this is? Disney Plus? Disney Plus is like double the price.
They just
increased the price of Disney Plus again. It's like $16 now.
Mel needs a name. Double the goo, double the price.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's too good.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah.
What? Oh man.
World of good.
Yeah, there we go. World of goodness. But no, it's like that. I really want to play World of Goo, but I just cannot justify spending $30 on that. Oh man.
No controller support. So no, only motion controls or touch screen.
But I would play it with touchscreen. Like that's the way that I would play it if I were playing. Like
or on the Wii. I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling that again.
Yeah, kind of with you. With you. What about you, Josh? How was your week?
I'm just being lame.
Did you do any World of Goo?
So when was I wasn't on here last week. It was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? So without going over all of it into, of course, between the two jobs and making poor decisions, and long planning, we went to Disneyland. I think I already talked some about that. Universal, all that crap. And then we had a beach trip with her family. We had like one of those little houses or whatever, so we all were together. We basically paid nothing for it. Went and enjoyed ourselves for another week with her family, which was pretty cool, and had a great time there. But what is sort of related, I guess, to that, back to our focus here, we played like 2 years ago when we went. I kind of did the same thing. I'm the guy who brings the Switch, and at night, a lot of us will hook it up and play stuff like Smash Brothers. Like last time and this time, we ended up having a couple like Smash Brothers tournaments. There was like, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 of us were participating in it that were there, about 8 sometimes. Mario Party. I got some of them playing the NES Championship, whatever the heck that game is called, even though I've played it a lot. I still just the name's confusing to me. Yeah, we did it a little bit. We didn't do the party mode a ton.
I haven't had the chance to do that.
Oh, we only 4 of us, I think, played it at once. But it was really cool. It was a little weird. Where like I'm kind of the experienced one there, so I kind of felt like I had to take it easy.
I understand.
So yeah, I'm kind of the dork there, so I kind of knew what I was doing. Where some are a little bit young for NES games and things like that, but it was still really cool to try out. It was awesome to see like my brother-in-law, who's not a huge gamer, like get into the Excite Bike one on single player and try to beat one of my records over and over and over and over again. Which he didn't. He came really close, but that was just fun to do and fun to enjoy that with everybody. So that means a lot to me, honestly. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Outside of that, before the beach, me and my wife kind of had this all planned as well. We went and saw Creed and Three Doors Down and Finger 11. Anyway, we saw them together on the way there in Virginia Beach, and that was awesome. I don't care what people say about Creed and all them. I like them. I don't care. Three Doors Down, I've always liked. Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time for the two of us.
Look at this photograph. Wait, different band.
That's not right. That's not. Anyway, that's all that. I don't remember what I mentioned last time at Disneyland.
Listen, why even go to this concert when you got Chris and I who can just like sing for you? Like you just come here and be fine. Like,
one other thing we had started, and I don't remember, I may have mentioned this, I'll go through it quickly, but the three of us had picked up on, and now we're kind of addicted. It's kind of bad. Because we don't really get into these games usually. Yes. No. Besides that, we got Disney Lorcana, and I've got some of my cards sitting right here.
I see it in the background. I see the big box, the Scrooge McDuck chilling back there. That's my box right there.
So yeah, we got a ton of these, and we've gotten into this now. And I started Disney Speedstorm like while I was on the trip, mostly because Figment is in there. If anybody is a Disney Parks fan, like a real one like me, you know who Figment is. So yeah, he was worth it alone.
I always mix him up with Bing Bong. From
those cards.
They're imagination related.
The cards do. When you buy a pack, can you get like a random like shiny card?
Yes. And like all of them, they'll be like in packs of 12, and one of them will be a foil card. Granted, this one I have on top just came in my starter pack, so. But my other ones aren't in my deck right now. But yeah. Yeah, you get one like all the time. It's just a random card. You don't know who you're getting foil.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I can't do Lorcana. Like, I'm afraid of like cracking into that because like I really like trading card games just in general. Like any kind of TCG. Like I get super hardcore into it. And right now, like digital TCG of like Marvel Snap is the only thing that I can do. Which, by the way, if you want to join my alliance, go to my Discord. You can find out how to join my alliance. But Lorcana does kind of spark my interest. It strikes me as like more entry level Magic the Gathering in some ways, which I'm totally okay with because I love Magic as well, but it's just been years since I've really played like any kind of hardcore.
Like, we don't usually get into these, and like my 10-year-old is able to figure it out. Like for the most part, like it's not like stupid easy, but it is. It's fairly. I'll say if I can figure it out because I'm at a lower level than she is, I think. You probably figure it out. That's not the hard part. I'm no expert, but like one quick thing, I'll shut up about it. But like some of these are just cool because like they're not even like necessarily from the movies directly. They're ink, they're blots. They're just kind of made up. Like this one, it's like a fiery usurper, however you say that word, Scar. Like, look, it's just Scar, like made out of fire.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
that's pretty cool. You excited for Epic Mickey Rebrushed? Have you seen the overview trailer for that?
I love that.
Stoked?
I could go on. I could do a whole episode about Epic Mickey and that whole ordeal.
Maybe we will.
Yeah,
Maybe we will.
I love that world. I'm so mad when that whole thing got shut down.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There were some cool plans ready for that. The only other really interesting thing to kind of move on, me and my wife did see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I'll be honest, like Deadpool is sometimes you wear a little much on me after a while. I'm like, oh, this is a good story. And then it's like, okay, this is turned down just a little bit. But no, it was a good movie. We had fun with it. I mostly did. She was like, this is stupid. She's like, I like it. It's good, but this is stupid.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with her. Like, yes, it's very stupid, but like, it's stupid funny. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, the wife and I went and saw that for her birthday like a couple weeks ago. So when it was first out, because it came out the day after her birthday. But
no real spoilers.
Don't even worry about it. Like, all the spoilers are out there. Like, Ryan Reynolds has done a very good job of posting every spoiler that came out of that movie.
That's one character that I like a lot from, I won't say from what, that I had no idea was going to be in it. I was like, I already know he was going to be in it.
Yep.
And I will say,
Batman.
No context, the dog and Wolverine.
Did you say Batman?
Yeah, Batman.
Yes, Batman.
It was Batman.
Actually, I think he's mentioned. He's not in it. Anyway.
It wasn't Superman was mentioned? I think it was Superman. But that's
I'll say
funny.
yes without giving away. I don't want to give that away because it's just funny. But no, the dog and Wolverine kind of have a moment when they're walking across the street. If you know what I'm talking about, that was the part that like made me laugh the hardest. It shouldn't have, but anyway.
I'm with you. It was a good movie.
Oh, yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I had a lot going on. I returned back to both jobs, and today was the first one back at the office.
I understand. I'm sorry.
I'm in a pretty decent mood considering.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Dude, I've been battling sickness for the past 4 days. Like last week, Courtney got sick before we were doing the show, and she stayed sick for a good few days there. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, I've got this. I'm not going to get sick. I'm going to be totally okay and fine. And then Friday night rolls around, and I'm playing Marvel Rivals, trying to grind to get my Cyan Venom in the game, which is like a beta exclusive skin. Spoiler alert, I ended up not making it because like my body was just like blah, it doesn't want to play games anymore. But I woke up Saturday morning after going to bed like feeling sore in the legs for no reason, because all I did was sit on my butt that day on Friday, for the most part. But I get up Saturday morning, and we're supposed to go to like Lego Brick Fest. There was a event that was going on nearby, and Courtney bought tickets for it months ago. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get up and go. And so I get up, and I've got a migraine. I'm feeling like scratchy in the throat. Don't really have much of a voice. Courtney's like, do you feel like you're good enough to go? And I'm like, let me take a shower first and find out. And she was like, well, I can ask my mom. And I was like, just let me go take a shower first. I'll let you know after that. I go take a shower. I come back up and I'm like, I'm not going, which kills me because like for the first 5 years of like my youngest life, I missed so much, and I hate missing anything now. Like even small stuff like that. So anyway, I go back, lay back down in bed. Courtney takes her mom with her and the kids, and they get home around like 3 p.m. And after they get home, I'm like, how was it? And she's like, kind of lame. And I was like, oh, did the kids have fun? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't feel so bad for missing it at that point. I was like, oh, okay, we're good. But then like the next few days, I've done nothing but like catch up on YouTube videos and sleep and try to like recover, and I'm still not 100%. Like this morning I got up, I went and got a haircut. I don't think I'm contagious at this point, hopefully. Anyway, I'm sorry. The person that cuts my hair is like family to us anyway, so it's like it is fine.
Okay if I kill him.
Yeah, it'd be totally okay. But then I came home, laid down, watched Captain America with the oldest, and we just laid on the couch downstairs. It was totally fine. I got up, took him to art class, came back, was like, I need to go lay down again. So my body's just like, anytime I've done any extended amount of talking, I want to die. So be prepared. I may die after this episode tonight, but that's like pretty much how my week's been. It's just been battling sickness. I did start Fallout last night, not the game, the show on Amazon. I know it's like old news at this point and everybody's like already watched it, but I started Fallout last night. It was good. First episode, really good. I recommend it. Even if you're not like a super huge fan of the Fallout games, like the show was entertaining. So, all that being said, let's go into my Nintendo news, Josh. Or no, wait, not my Nintendo news. Thank yous. We got thank yous to do. Before we dive into the news, I just want to make sure that we thank our members who are supporting us over at NintendoRewind.com. You have the opportunity to sign up to directly support our content, guide what we're discussing, and get exclusive videos that won't be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Just a tease, we're going to have one up this weekend for you guys. So if you are supporting at the Rewinder tier, you'll be able to get that. You also get merch discounts, and there's even a tier that only costs $1, and with it you get a shout out on our show. That said, I want to thank our members this week, Calamity Nolan, Sierra Christian, and Shiny Bird. Thank you guys so freaking much for supporting our content and making sure that we can keep the lights on here. Now we're going to dive into the My Nintendo digital and physical rewards news. Josh, take it away, friendo.
Oh yeah, that would be me.
Mm-hmm. That's you.
So, yeah.
That's the Josh segment.
It's not going. Yeah, we're good. So actually, there's no smart device PC rewards this week. No new ones. Just what was there is already there. But the sweepstakes we have this week is a My Nintendo Splatoon 3 Grand Festival sweepstakes. 10 platinum points per entry, max 3 entries like normal. And part of it is you do get the 3 t-shirts basically for each team, which is a little strange to me. I don't think I'd wear the ones that I don't represent. I really like the past one myself. I just like the look of it. And my thing's messed up here. What else is in that reward there?
You get a Splatoon 3 Grand Festival metal sublimation print. So if you've heard of stuff like disc plates where they have like the metal prints that have like the magnetic backs that you can hang up. I don't know that this have a magnetic back. They don't show the back of it or describe it any further, but it is HD and it's pretty, and you get sharper contrast, deeper color saturation than traditional photo printing. So
pretty cool little thing to get if you have a nice place to put it. So there you go. There is no new physical rewards again. I believe there was one not too long ago. I can't remember the newest ones, but it's never a bad thing to go check those out.
Nintendo World Championships hat that you got that you can't wear.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. My head's way too big. Yeah. I do have a big head, granted, but that thing is like ridiculously small. So, I would second guess that thing. But anyway, outside of that, there's no new big rewards there. However, we do have NSO icons, and we're getting to a really important one here. But no, just hold on a minute. We got the Nintendo World Championships NES Editions icons, Wave 2, which I think are pretty cool. I like that game more than I thought I would, honestly. I'd been sporting where is it here? The Toad carrying the little potion for a little while now, since earlier this week, since those went up. They're available until August the 7th. So you still got until tomorrow. So you might want to grab those. There are new and returning Nintendo Switch Sports Wave 2 icons if someone bought that game. It is available until August the 7th, which is also tomorrow. There is also, of course, the Play and Redeem Super Mario related icons. These ones are available until yesterday.
I messed up. I didn't update the date. These are available until the 12th.
Yes, they are available until the 12th. As you can see, there is 3D World Bowser's Fury. You got your Mario Karts. You got all that good stuff. You got your Odyssey. So if you see anything you like there that you missed the first time through, go through and play it, get it taken care of.
No, wait. Take a deep breath here, okay? Because we're about to get into one that I think Josh, like, I think he did a Lonely Island in his pants. Just whenever they announce this, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll get the reference. But before we talk about it, here's the deal. I've got a list of icons that have made it into the Nintendo Switch icons list before Diddy Kong. So here's the list of characters I've gathered. It's a short list, but it is the cardboard Shy Guy from Origami King made it in before Diddy Kong. The taxi cab from Mario Odyssey made it in before Diddy Kong. The cheeseburger, a cheeseburger from Kirby and the Forgotten Lands made it in before Diddy Kong. The seal from Ice Climbers, you know, that dead franchise that nobody knows about unless you're hardcore Nintendo or a Smash fan, made it in before Diddy Kong. A bowling ball from Nintendo Switch Sports, not even the good Nintendo Sports, like not even Wii Sports, Switch Sports made it in as an icon. Any Fire Emblem character made it in before Diddy Kong as an icon. The Pounce icon from WarioWare Move It. A trash can from Mario vs. Donkey Kong made it in before Diddy Kong. And then finally,
Fuck yeah, keep this PG.
An ATM from Earthbound, but not even the good one. Earthbound Beginnings made it in before Diddy Kong made it in. So now, Josh, you get to actually talk about what you want to talk about. What's in there?
The straight disrespect. Like the straight is not even from Cody. That's just funny. This is funny. Like Nintendo, like I know you guys hate anything that's not made in Japan. Smash Brothers shows that, but give me a freaking break.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. The NSO icons. The NSO icons, the new ones up right now, are the Donkey Kong Country ones. Finally, because you know we had to do every other Super Nintendo game first, and then go off of Super Nintendo to come back to it some other day. So it's finally the first Donkey Kong Country. They are available until September the 2nd.
Mel in the live chat, it's not even a good icon of Diddy.
Not really. Like there's other icons or other artwork of Diddy that they could use for that. The only worst is there's one of him like super terrified from that game. I guess they could use. Yep. I mean, it's not the worst. It's still him from Donkey Kong Country. Holy crap, it's Diddy Kong. And I mean, honestly, I like the old way Rare made him look anyway versus kind of what they did with him in the mid 2000s. But whatever. He's there. It's cool. I'm glad he's there. King K. Rool is there.
Are you ever going to change your icon after that, by the way, now that you've got this?
Just to make a point, it's really hard to. And I change that like consistently. I like collecting the little icons. I know it's kind of silly, but I like doing it. They could use some backgrounds, but whatever. Like, it's going to be hard for me to change that one. Because Diddy's been one of my favorite characters for like 30 years. And nope. I'm not going to go off on a rant. It's okay. I'm not cranky. Anyway, we got King K. Rool here, which is cool as well, because, you know, he gets disrespected as well. You got another Donkey Kong one. I actually skipped there. I believe that one's not from Country, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. Anyway, we also have Funky Kong, always a cool one. The classic original look for him. You got your Cranky Kong, so nothing wrong with that. You also have another very cool one here is Rambi the Rhino, one of the coolest animal buddies. Said one of.
Made our list. Did it make our list when we made the definitive like animal companions list a couple weeks ago?
Rambi really should be there, but
I don't think it made our list. I think we both chose Squitter.
Yeah, Squitter. we try to pick one Donkey Kong Country animal buddy, so I wouldn't just fill it up with that. And Squitter kind of one. It's his shoes. And the last one, and we're gonna raise the age rating here for a moment. The last one, Winky. Winky the frog.
You gotta ride your Winky.
Yeah, so you can also set your icon to that because that's apparently a thing people like to do. I won't make the joke I'm going to. That one's a little too far and I'll get canceled, so let's just keep that to us.
Absolutely. We got events to kick over to anyway, but
yes, we do.
Go get your Donkey Kong Country stuff. You have to play the game for like 30 minutes to be able to redeem those or something like that. I don't even know. Do you have to play it?
Just turn it on. I mean, you should play it, and if you haven't played it, something's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just turn it on, close out of it, you're good.
We're going to throw it over to Chris right after this transition. All right, Chris, tell the people about the Pokems and let's hear you.
There's Terra raid battles, for crying out loud. You got what? We got Search for Pikachu and his friends, or that already happened. Don't even get me started on that. It's already over. We've got what do we got? Celebrate the 2024 World Championships, or is that over too? Or that's happening right now?
Yeah, that's happening right now. Listen, they're highlighted there in the document, but never, I shouldn't have thrown it. I'm sorry, Chris. I should have just done this. Do you want me to take over for you?
Well, we can continue if you want, but I don't know what the heck they want me to catch.
I don't know where this is going, but we can
okay, all right. So what's going on right now? We've got a 7-star Dondozo, Tatsugiri, curly form, droopy form, and stretchy form that is going on right now. That's going until day after tomorrow, August 8th, time of recording day after tomorrow. If you're listening to this like 3 days later, you're screwed. You're never getting the Donzos and the Tatsugiri ever again. But starting on the 9th, we've got Gimmighoul chest form. Now, what's really unique about that one is that it's the first non-7-star raid that's available. So this is the chest form Gimmighoul will show up in 1 to 5-star raids, and then your mass outbreaks, which have increased chances of shiny and having the pumped up mark. You've got Watchrail, Riolu, and Comfey in their respective regions, whether it be Paldea, Kitakami, and Blueberry Academy as well. So those are available for you to be able to catch. We also have a Splatfest going on. Chris, you can tell them about the Splatfest. You know about the Splatfest. It's going on this weekend. We talked about it last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, before we get into that, I don't see anywhere where this says chest form on the dang. All right, anyway. So we got, but listen, what would you rather eat every dang day? Would you rather eat bread, rice, or pasta? I think we all know the answer to that.
Why do these all look weird?
We are absolutely about to be a pasta sandwich here. Except I'm sitting on top of the 2 pieces of bread that are right below.
They look the safest here. Pasta looks like it's turned.
But it's just a little green. It's just a little green. I love me some pasta, but
rice looks like it's got mouse poop on it.
I will tell you what that's seaweed. I will tell you what I normally do eat every day is rice. Like I do eat rice every day, but I would prefer pasta. Give me all the carbs. Like give me all the carbs. You guys over there, you bread gang going on. I don't understand what's going on. What is that?
Oh yeah, bread.
Does the bread look like it's got bread?
The bread looks like cheese. It looks like cheese to me.
Okay.
Well, it just looks like bread.
It looks like a Swiss or a Gouda or something like that with like those divots.
You've
and holes
never
in it.
seen what you just want it to be solid. You don't want any sort of what kind of bread are we talking about? Play-Doh bread?
Wonder bread.
This is artwork. Off. I'm just not a fan. Anyway, team bread for me.
Oh, bread has holes. That's what I'm being informed in the chat. I know bread has holes, but pasta doesn't, so I'm going to eat my pasta.
Pasta's also not green usually, is it? Maybe I'm just a dumb West Virginian.
It depends. We need to church you up just a little bit, Josh. Like you need to get fancy, my friend. It is pesto pasta. Nettest with the taste in the chat.
Not with the taste. Nettest said rice. Get the heck out of here.
Oh,
anyway,
you're right. I take it back.
Then we got. Let's see what else we got. We also, not this weekend, but next weekend we got the Tetris. What is it? The Maximus Cup 42, which is Splatoon 3. The expansion pass, basically just based on that. So,
odd timing, but sure.
I think it's like the side order DLC theming. Which did actually, Josh? You play most of these Maximus Cups usually to get the themes, don't you?
I like to collect like the ones I like.
Like, did they do this one already? If this feels like a redo. No,
I don't think so. They've done them at odd times. There was one like last year that was, what was it? It was like Mario RPG. I think the theme for it came out after another game came out, and then that game came out. I don't know. Like everything was in a really weird order. So I don't know. I thought
Yeah, I
this
think-
would be like the Nintendo World Championships or something, but I don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, go get your Maximus Cup on
Well, not yet, because it's not until
next
August
week.
16th
Next
or
week.
19th. Yeah.
Yeah, we're Nintendo
Crying out
fast forwarding here right now instead of rewinding, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, and then if you're one of those wackadoos that are still playing Nintendo World Championships NES edition,
Sorry, John.
we got number 4, which is what they got. Mario 2 normal and hard is Kid Icarus and Mario 2, the best Mario.
Normal
then
and normal.
they've got
normal.
yeah,
and
normal and normal. And then we got hard and hard, which is Legend. It's what, the Adventures of Link.
Yeah, the worst Zelda game.
No,
Right. It is.
That's the second best Zelda game.
You got Adventure of
Better
Link.
than any of those overrated third person games.
Oh, never mind. You're talking about something else. Good.
Then we got Metroid, which is hard to have any fun in it. You know what I mean? And then we've got Super Mario, the master
Boo.
difficulty.
Get off the stage. Oh man. Which do you know? Because here's the thing: is I haven't played this game enough to recognize the challenges. I think the Super Mario Bros. 2 one is the one where you drop from the door and try to get in the door as fast as possible. The Kid Icarus one is the one where you're shooting the 4 snakes. I didn't play any of the Adventure of Link challenges at all. Period. Objectively,
That one's not hard. The first one's not hard.
And then I think the Metroid one is the one where you have to shoot the Chozo statue thing and jump into it and get the missile power up.
When you
after
just jump
running
over stuff and then land on it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And then the master difficulty one for Super Mario Bros. 1, I think it's the first swimming level that you've got.
Pretty much on it.
Yeah, I had to time out Mel because she said she'd rather play crossbow training than Zelda 2. So I just had to.
Okay. I can agree to that.
I would disagree with Mel. I think Mel makes a lot of sense.
I didn't realize it was a 10-minute ban.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. I looked over. I saw Mel needs a name timed out for 600 seconds. I was like, what happened? I was trying to fix that, and then it said not currently timed out from this channel. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you did it right as I did it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah,
that's funny.
Those
are all the weekly challenges. We got one sale going on, the Play Together sale that is still going on. Save up to 50% on select multiplayer games. It goes on to the 11th. Couple of things here as far as that goes. Mario Golf 33% off. All Mario plus Rabbids content 65% off. RIP Davide. And not that he's dead, he's just gone from Ubisoft. TMNT Shredder's Revenge 35% off. Cuphead and DLC 28% off. But a lot of those games still have single player modes. So if you don't have anyone to play with, Netist, I'll play with you. I'll play with you exclusively. But if you don't have anyone to play with, there's a lot of really good single player content in all of those games that we just mentioned too. So really, really good time. One other thing that is not listed on here that just got announced today, if you buy, and this was an announcement, if you buy Super Mario Party Jamboree that's coming out, you get 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online, which is so dumb to me that they feel like they need to pack that in to justify anybody buying another Super Mario Party game. It's just like, why? Like, is it going to be that bad? Is it going to suck that bad? They need to give you 3 months of NSO? But I digress.
Probably.
Oh, no. We're going to jump into the main topic tonight. Main topic tonight is a deep dive on that Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom overview trailer. So we'll catch you right after this. All right, so we had a new trailer that just launched this like 2 days ago, maybe even yesterday. I can't remember anymore. Time is a construct. I think it was actually it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. And it was the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom overview trailer. They call it the Traversing Hyrule trailer. But usually like these are like 5-minute long extended cut trailers that are very interesting in giving you all the spoilers that you could possibly want from this game. Now, that being said, I typically don't watch overview trailers. I don't avoid them for any reason. They're just like extremely long trailers that I don't usually like to watch. But with this Zelda game specifically, I wanted to make an exception for it, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this one. Like, it seems interesting. It seems like there's a lot there, and I know I've poo-pooed on people's parade about Zelda game a little bit because like I'm afraid that the combat's gonna be tedious, and I can assure you, after watching this trailer, I still feel that way. But there's a lot of really, really cool content here, and a lot of really, really interesting innovation that I think that they've got going on in this game, in the sense that it's innovation for a 2D Zelda. Maybe not so much for a 3D Zelda. But we're going to kind of dive into this, chat it up while we're watching this in the background. I'm going to show it to you guys as well. You guys who are watching the video version of the podcast. And you can kind of keep up, but fellas, feel free to chime in here with any of your observations as we go through this. So it opens up with a tour of Hyrule, by the way. They've got this divided up into a few different ways, but one of the first things that I noticed from this trailer, and they've talked about in the past, is this being kind of a riff off the Link to the Past map, but they make it very obvious in this trailer that it is so much more than just like an extra a Link to the Past map segment here. So, Josh, did you have any like real big takeaways from this? You, Chris, either one of you?
Yeah. So for me, I was a little bit concerned. Like, oh, it's Hyrule again. Like, I love Hyrule. I've loved this series for years. It's been one of my all-time favorites. But I'm like, okay, here's the Gerudos, here's the Gorons, and all that again. It's kind of all the same thing. It kind of looks like a Link to the Past. But I don't know. I haven't really seen it like this before, and it's kind of grown. Like, I mean, I've known the Link to the Past map for basically my whole life at this point, and and A Link Between Worlds expanded on that a little bit in its own ways. But this is like, hey, you can kind of see beyond that now, or this is kind of what's like in between here and there. You couldn't really tell before, so that's actually pretty cool to me. So and this is really, not including some side stuff that doesn't count, Zelda's like first real game where she is like the main character. She's in Link's place in this one. Mm-hmm. And there's no other really top-down ones quite like this either, with the way the gameplay is and everything like that. So really, the more and more I thought about it, I'm kind of cool with it being a little more traditional Hyrule, with some expansions here to it. So long story short, I'm pretty cool with it. I went back and forth on it some, but I like it. I like seeing it like this again.
Absolutely. What about you, Chris? Any big takeaways here?
Oh yeah, I like the way it looks. I like just like walking around, and it's exciting to see just being able to like walk around as Zelda. I'm curious to see what sort of things will be just different from the jump, and what it'll be, how people will interact, and if they notice, oh hey, that is Princess Zelda or not, and what ends up happening with that. And then also all the different stuff that they show us, like I think we just saw her swimming. Yeah. Just all the stuff with that, and seeing what they end up doing.
A lot of the world traversal. One of the big things that I thought was interesting, and they're kind of showing it off here especially. So there's all these new areas that weren't originally the way that the A Link to the Past map was. Like, first off, like Hyrule Castle is actually in Castletown. They're not like two separate entities. Yeah. The Gerudo Desert is included in here. Jabal Waters, which is this area, it has both. If you look to the left, you've got the River Zora and the sea Zora on the right.
Yeah.
It has both species of Zora, which is crazy to me that they're finally acknowledging that these are two different species of Zora. It's not just, oh, well, this was what Zora looked like, just happens to look like this in this game. One of the things that they mention here as well is a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be Death Mountain, and it's not Death Mountain. It's Elden Volcano, which has the Goron village on it, but like nestled right below it, they mentioned in the trailer here too, is Kakariko Village, which is an interesting placement for where they're putting it. And they kind of show off a little bit of Kakariko Village as well. And then they go into the Fire and Wetlands, which has some new NPCs. Not necessarily new NPCs, but NPCs we haven't seen in Zelda in a long, long, long time. Those NPCs are the Deku. And the Deku Scrubs making a comeback. We haven't had these characters in a Zelda game since Minish Cap. Like, legitimately, it has been since a GBA title that we've had the Deku Scrubs in this sense in a game since Minish Cap. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like, I'm stoked to see the Deku Scrubs come back. I like them as characters. I've liked them as characters since Majora's Mask, especially. Like, that was my first 3D Zelda that I got, was Majora's Mask. I didn't have Ocarina of Time growing up. So transforming in and out of Deku Scrub and being able to shoot bullets out my snout was fun. But I like the fact that they're kind of hearkening back to their sweet tooth as well. Let me back it up just a little bit. You can see right there, they're all snacking down on some cotton candy is what it looks like. So I don't know, what do you think? What do you think, Chris? Are you stoked for the Deku Scrubs to come back?
Yeah, not only the Deku Scrubs, I'm excited to see with them coming back. That also has me excited for what else will be coming back and what sort of changes will they make to the world. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be two different worlds that we're going to be going back and forth from?
Oh no, are they going to do a Link Between Worlds, Echoes of Wisdom? Is that what we're looking for?
Echo World.
Or if you jump into the portal and go into the other dimension, is that going to be just destroyed world and that's why they're trying to take over this one? Or what's going to end up happening with that? It could be any number of things. It could be just a parallel world running at the same time, just in bad shape, or it could be a different time period. So I'm excited to see what that is. Maybe it'll be in the future and it'll be another old Link over there.
Well, I think that's kind of what we're seeing here too, is this does seem like it's separated pretty heavily from the time period of A Link to the Past. I mean, if the Hyrule Historia is anything to be believed, obviously there has to be time past. But because of so much opening up of that map, they don't have. I'm trying to find the area where they had the map in this trailer, but there's a specific area where they had the shrine, and there was a blocked off area, and you can see the Fire and Wetlands are to the southeast of that was closed off in the original Link to the Past too, which is really, really cool. But I think this is set pretty far ahead in time.
That symbol right there, I think, is the medallion. I can't think of the name of it. What you get in Ocarina of Time.
Are you talking about the
one of the three medallions at the beginning? Not medallions.
You're talking about the flower symbol on here, or are you talking about the three moons on the above the door? I can't remember.
No, the little flower thing. It looks. I'd have to see it. Maybe I'm going crazy here. Isn't that what I'm looking at? Isn't that what's on the water temple medallion?
Ooh, actually, I think you're right. Hang on, water temple medallion. Let's do a deep dive. Right, live. We're doing this live. Water medallion. Oh yeah, it is exactly that. It is exactly that. If I pull this down to this screen, you can kind of see. It is exactly that on there. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I think
I would have not been there in Link to the Past.
The map's at 232.
232. Okay, so it's a little bit further in. Let me bump to here. Okay, yeah. So this is a perfect example. So right here where they had this warp area. Let me back this up to where these words aren't. This shrine here and temple here. This area was cut off originally on the map. You guys can't see where my cursor is, but pretty much where that warp symbol is that's highlighted, that was cut off originally, and now they've got a path that goes out to the bottom right and takes you a little bit deeper. And they also have this new area called Sethorn Village that's included in here too. So I think it's kind of cool. Sethorn Village, Sethorn Beach. But that was another one of my bullet points that I found out there later. There's also some like hints around how the quest lines are lining up. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the adventure log much, but it's kind of cool to see that make a comeback in the same way that you see in Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, where you get these new little side quests. This right here, you get these new little side quests that you didn't get originally, but it does seem pretty open too, because like there's only one mission here that's been completed in this main quest segment. It's Mysterious Rifts, and I think they show off a little bit of the mission structure here. Let me see if I can get that pulled up here. Unfortunately, no, they're not going to scroll through it, but I kind of lean toward this game may have more of an open world feel than we've normally seen with 2D Zeldas, where like you could probably really go anywhere as you're traveling and doing your questing. But this looks like it leans toward, you get the choice to go to the Gerudo Desert instead of doing like this cave that's there. You could choose to go to the Gerudo Desert and do that mission anyway, and totally ignore that first Ancestor's Cave of Rest Rift mission. Plus, with all the like side quest stuff, which I like, these feel like fetch quests in some ways. I like them, but like you can also see like this seems really pretty early on in the game, and they've already been down to Sethorn Village and are going to be going up north toward the Gerudo wastelands. So yeah. I think it's crazy that they're bringing this, and Nettis kind of sums it up best in the live chat here. It's really interesting they're using the quest UI from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for this 2D Zelda game, but I like this change. Yeah.
Plus that right there, the flying plant, that could go with that image, how it's like the two different images with the US and the Japanese key art.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
And it has the person flying with the glider, so that could be like the last item, right, that we have on the D-pad. So you copy the flying plant, you hit it, and then fly up in the air, and then use the glider to fly down.
What you can kind of see here is you've got this guy on a glider, which is something that wasn't shown in the overview trailer, but it was something that they put into the key art. And Chris messaged us earlier this week and was like, this key art is heavily expanded compared to what we have. I think it was Chris, wasn't it you? Josh, my apologies. Let me attribute my sources a little bit better.
I just mentioned the snake.
Yeah. Josh messaged us and was like, this key art's expanded significantly from the main like American key art, which it is. I mean, you've got the snake who's here, you've got a view of this poster, this wanted poster that's over here. It's so crazy looking. They made Zelda look awful. And then you've got
Plant Rider.
Right. Then you've got a better view of Elden Mountain, Elden Volcano. My apologies, not Elden Mountain. Elden Volcano in the background, and then the glider guy up in the upper top left.
Not Tingle.
No, it's not. It's not Tingle, which is crazy to me. What the heck? So. Super intriguing that they've chosen to go that route with it. But I'm with you. I think that quest may line up with that, the flying plant. If you look at the actual thing, an elderly man from Sethorn Village is hoping to cheer up his wife with a flying plant. He last saw it near some caves deep in Southern Forest. And that might be his
That's a
wife.
trick.
That might not be a guy. That might be his wife flying, because it's kind of hard to tell whether that's a woman or a man in this chibi art style that they've done here. So it could be his wife. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, so that could be with that. And then the thing that worries me about the glider is if you're going to glide from really high up and go down, because the last game using this engine had a bit of a hard time just walking with some of the way it would like load up stuff as you're walking to it, since it's not screen to screen.
Yep.
So it would just randomly be streaming and loading up the next section. And if you're going to be gliding down everything, I would worry about that. Having a hard time keeping up.
They have had a couple of years with this engine, though. I think having a couple of years with this and really, really refining this, I think they could probably do a decent job, because like for the most part, that game did run pretty well, though. You know, like it wasn't the worst running game on the Nintendo Switch at the time. That was reserved exclusively for The Witcher. But I think overall, like they could definitely do with some improvements on the loading of the assets a little bit quicker instead of having the blockiness. But I'm kind of with you. One of the other things that has kind of blasted past is all these warp checkpoints that are in here. That's not really anything new. We've seen that stuff in stuff like Oracle of the Seasons, Oracle of the Ages, Link's Awakening, and a few other areas of this game. So like, or a few other areas of this franchise. So that's nothing new. But the thing that I thought was really interesting here is the way that they do the horse stuff. Because if you notice that they've got here is when Zelda does this carrot echo, there are multiple different kinds of horses that roll into the area. And at first I thought like you've only got Epona, because it shows the Epona. Listen, the Gerudo and Epona. I'm just trying to offend chat at this point, but you've got the brown horse. And then later on, whenever she does the carrot echo, it shows another white horse rolling in. Do you think this is like another holdover from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, taming horses, registering horses kind of situation, or something else?
Or if they're just random every time? It's really hard to tell here. Like that one almost looks like her normal horse, from like Ocarina or whatever. That white one. I could be overthinking that one. It's really hard to tell. Well, never mind. That's a table. I thought I saw a horse up in the top right. I feel like there's a lot of things brought over from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, those two games. I'm somewhat skipping ahead and I say this, but like recipes and things like that, a little bit of the open worldness, the quest logs, things like that. I feel like a lot of things are pulled over from that, which I love those games. I don't know how I feel about that here with certain things. Like I kind of am cool with them sticking, with some of the Zelda series, a little more of that linear path where you don't have to like overcomplicate certain things. But, that's just kind of me. But yes, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be something where you could register these horses somewhere. Excuse me. I think I've only seen the one ranch, so I don't know exactly how that would work.
That's true. They haven't really mentioned stables. And even on like the map screen here, where did you say that map was?
What?
I'm looking for the map. Even on the map screen, there's no like icons other than like the warp areas that I'm really noticing. I mean, there's not even really a legend on this to kind of guide you. The only other icons I see on here besides these warp points are these tears in reality, these purple tears that are located on the maps, which also is crazy how big this is, because like you can kind of see how you're unlocking this. This looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. An uncountable number here in the middle. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 regions is what it kind of looks like, plus whatever you can't count in the middle. So I mean, it's a sizable map. I would expect there to be like, I don't know.
This looks really zoomed in.
This does look really zoomed in too. because you don't even see Castletown. You don't see Hyrule Castle. Unless that's it up here in the upper left, but that would not line up with the placement, because like this is kind of where the scroll icon is up in the top middle. It looks a lot like where Link's house was in A Link to the Past, like that little hillside that hit him and his lived on.
And now I'm curious. Now I can't decide, because see, I was almost thinking that top right almost looks like where like the first dungeon is in A Link to the Past, but now it's like covered in water. But I might be wrong on that.
It's crazy. It's
now I don't know,
but it's pretty large, so it makes sense for you to like. I mean, the thing they talk about with the carrots is that you can call in. You can call in horses from anywhere once you learn the carrot echo, but that it's in their wording there is crazy, because it's like once you learn the carrot echo, you can do this. You can call these horses in. It doesn't say you can't get horses before that, so you just can't call them to you at any time. So that's why I kind of lean toward, oh, this might be a point for them to like introduce horses into 2D Zeldas that you can like collect and tame.
It matters. They do have saddles, if you've noticed.
They do. They roll in
like
with
the
saddles
wild
immediately.
ones in the Switch games don't, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know
if that means anything or not.
It might just be to make it cute, but
Great.
Who knows? But I'm with you. I think that is Zelda's horse that rolls in there, and then you've got Epona in the first little tease there. Then they kind of dive into the smoothie making, and I kind of want to stop here because there's a lot to take in on this. Like, there's a lot to take in just from this particular segment in general, because we have the opportunity in another Zelda game to pretty much do cooking with ingredient grinding. Like, you have all these different ingredients that you can combine into these new smoothies, and like they point out with the Electro Apple, like these things are gonna like give you certain attributes. So the Electro Apple, a juicy apple with slight electric tingle when used in a drink, it grants the drink a resistance to electricity. Floral nectar, sweet nectar with floral scent, when used in a drink, it boosts the effects of other ingredients, which kind of tells me also that like you're gonna have environmental statuses that you're avoiding, very similar to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where like you needed heat resistance armor to be able to exist in a certain area, or you can cook something and be able to have heat resistance for a little while on a timer. You can't wear metal into this area because it's gonna strike you with lightning, blah blah blah. So like I like that aspect. I think that's cool. I think it works really well with 2D Zelda, but I don't know how you guys feel about that. If it's something that you even wanted in 2D Zelda.
For the different fruits and smoothies?
More the environmental stuff. But yeah, the fruits and smoothies, yes. But like more specifically, like the environmental avoidance
area.
Yeah, resisting electricity, resisting heat, resisting cold.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do with the electricity. I guess that would be nice if you're in certain areas with those, what are I don't know their names, the gummy looking ones that like electrocute you if you hit them.
That's a Josh question. What is it? Yeah, are they the choo-choos? Yeah, the choo-choos. They kind of look like Wobbuffets in the 2D Zeldas usually. They look like Wobbuffet from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, they kind of...
But yeah, like if I could wear that to not worry about it, or something along those lines, that would be good. And then it was the one was like resistance to fire, but it didn't seem like it said anything about like, at least, you know, I feel like they deliberately didn't go over the jalapeno or the hot peppers, because it doesn't say anything about like helping you with cold or whatever. So like the temperature doesn't seem like it'll be a thing.
Yeah, that is true. It does specify like on that one ingredient, cool bittersweet cactus enjoyed as a dessert. When used in a drink, it grants the drink a resistance to fire. So I guess that would make sense. But I mean, like, I don't know. I'm hoping that it is a carryover of a weather system. I think that would be neat. I personally think that would be neat, but it could be in the minority on that. But
I kind of like the idea of it's like, hey, this is strong against fire enemies or something like that. You don't have to use it, but it does, not a bad idea to have it for the next few minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of feel like the weather stuff got a little tiring when you're just trying to explore the world, and I keep having to pause and change my clothes, because my altitude changed a little bit.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want to wear this armor, like it wasn't really so much a part of the puzzle at that point or trying to figure something out. It was just kind of a job,
Well, the only reason I kind of leaned toward the weather stuff is because they kind of talked about the sandstorms in the Gerudo Desert as well, and the heat right there. I mean, you can kind of see Zelda's kind of like waving her hand over her face, and she's experiencing the heat, and it's really bothering her. So, I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe this is a carryover from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you've got to have the right smoothies, or you've got to have the right outfits, which is actually a little bit later on in this trailer. I feel bad because we're going to skip another point that I mentioned here, but you can see in her inventory, she's got 3 different outfits here, and unfortunately they don't go hover over the outfits to let us know what they do. She has this princess outfit, she has this Gerudo Desert tribe outfit that is on there as well, and they show her in those different looks, which I find this one interesting because she doesn't need this to sneak in anymore.
Thought that was a mustache when I first saw it, by the way, on my cell phone.
Oh, it's a Mario.
Can you see it?
I do see it. It's full on beard. But I think it's interesting that she has access to these things, and it only tells me, it makes me feel like it is exclusively for the weather related stuff. That's why else would they give you all these outfits at this point?
Amiibo support. They gotta have something to scan with your Amiibo support.
Do you think, actually, do we know if this game is even going to support Amiibos? Have we seen a back of box yet? I don't think.
Probably not.
The eShop listing says it does, and I think the Japanese website did too.
Interesting. I mean, we're probably going to get a Zelda Amiibo, and your link to the my apologies. Link's Awakening Amiibo is going to probably function with this as well. So I don't know.
I'm surprised with myself, but I do kind of like this artwork. Honestly,
I love these.
It worked really well for A Link to the Past, and I think it works well for something or not A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. And I think it works for this. I don't want to see it for every 2D Zelda maybe, but I like seeing it back again.
I'm with you. I wanted more remakes in this style from them. Specifically the Game Boy era games. I would have been fine with getting Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages.
Done Seasons and Ages together would have been kind of neat.
Yeah. I don't know that I would want Minish Cap redone in this style. Minish Cap has its own iconic 2D Wind Waker-esque homage that I really love from the Capcom team. I think they did a really good job with that game. And I don't know that I would want that to change, but I would like to see Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages get the remake treatment in this. But I don't know, the outfits are strange to me. Why have them in there? This nerd in the live chat says obviously they're going to give lots of outfits. They made Zelda a girl wife. Girl game.
Link has a lot of outfits, and I mean, he even had the Switch outfit for the.
That's true.
Oh gosh,
the Nintendo Switch T-shirt.
Yeah, the T-shirt. The one thing, if they do have that with the weather being a thing, then I want to be able to scan all the Amiibo to get supplies to make smoothies, because I don't want to have to run around and search for every tree for a coconut,
Yeah, absolutely. I do not want to do a whole lot of material farming in a 2D Zelda game. That's the last thing I feel like I need to do. And I've got pretty much all the Zelda amiibos, so all the ones I've really cared to have anyway. But I'm with you.
Yeah.
One of the things that is talked about here right after this is, which I think is interesting. So they've got all of these accessories here, and it's right before the clothing, but the accessories all kind of give you some specific things that you can do. So like the Zora flippers has swim speed up, which they show like Zelda just literally buys this in a shop to get the Zora flippers. She doesn't have to unlock those or earn those. She just buys them. But the wording on this is really interesting, where they're like swim speed up, which means, can she swim already? Like, that's not your typical with 2D Zelda games, is that like the main character, the protag, can't swim until you get the flippers, the Zora flippers. And then immediately, like, Zelda may just know how to swim, and so they're like, okay, well, we're gonna give you the flippers to up your swim speed, make it faster for you. They also have a couple of other things here. The Zora scale, which increases the amount of time that you are able to dive. They've got the frog ring, which has jump height up, which is also interesting. Does that mean that she can jump as well? Because literally the times that you are able to jump, the only times you're really able to jump is in the 2D sections with a Rock's Feather, in the same sense. And then you obviously you can use the Rock's Feather in the overworld too, but like that's where it really seems to matter, is being able to do that jump. So can she already jump as well? And then they've got the heart pin. What? Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think we've already seen her jump. So we don't know if she already has that, but when you're making all the different, like when they first showed her using like the tables to make stairs, she was jumping up each of the stairs and then jumping up to the other sections. And then, I wonder if I believe what Mel said, Zelda's just built different. And it's nice that with the swim speed, it would be nice if she does already swim, and then they just have like currents that are coming down, and in order to get through, you can't get through them, and then of course it's because you need the Zora's flippers.
Yep.
And then that would just help you speed through those.
Absolutely. I think it'd be cool. They do have this like unnamed accessory here too, that you have this flower accessory, and like each of these have like specific things that they do. Like you can kind of see there's a water symbol on the Zora flippers, and then it has an up arrow, so that tells you it's swim speed up. This has like what looks like an air icon on the Zora scale, or whatever that scale is. This has wings, which you would think is flying, but I guess it's just extra jump height icon. But the flower has like a butterfly symbol. And the only thing I can really think of that makes sense to me is like making it, because the heart appearance up, this has a bag and a heart symbol. This flower symbol has a bag and a butterfly symbol. The heart pin, it's a hairpin with a distinctive heart design. It makes hearts appear a little more often. I kind of lean toward the flower being probably like the increase of fairies in the area. Netist has mentioned it in the live chat as well. That's the only thing I can really think of, is that it's increased fairies, which I'd be totally okay with. Like, give me better full health restoring people.
Yeah.
If you're a Kirby fan, butterflies are not a good thing. I don't know if anybody will know what I'm talking about there, but it makes me a little nervous.
Well, here's another question, because like one of the things you can do in this game is the material farming, right? So you can do material farming, and we do see butterflies in the trailer. Do you think butterflies are going to be materials for smoothie making, or something even further?
I don't know if I've seen any other bugs or anything like it on this. You can catch butterflies in Skyward Sword, is actually what I kind of thought of.
Yep.
But they're kind of used with like other bugs. I don't know. I mean, there was a bug catching net, in like A Link to the Past, so maybe it has something to do with that.
That is true.
I just haven't really seen that.
That's true.
That's the only thing I could really tie it to.
I don't know. Like, it's interesting to me that this is listed in here the way that it is.
Right.
And then there's not really a whole lot more. The main end of this trailer is the bind ability, which is like the main like new feature that they wanted to talk about during this overview. Obviously, you've got your echoes that you can create. But they've introduced this new ability called Bind, and what it does is it reminds me a lot of Ultra Hand from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you can kind of move things around. But there's also a flip side of that in this, where it's like reverse bind is what they call it, where Zelda moves as the object moves. So they'll show that off here in a second. Part of me is like very okay with that because I really liked Ultra Hand. But another part of me is like, I don't know, did we need this thing to come back in another Zelda game? Like, couldn't they?
What are you talking?
Couldn't they have made their own mechanic again? You know, like a new thing. Do you not believe? Do you not feel me?
Have you never played any other Zelda game? They bring back the same thing from the last game every single game.
Oh, that's fair.
We got the boomerang. We got the everything. Yeah.
You could kind of see her like grab onto creatures and stuff here, like the birds. I don't know if you caught that, like the flying stuff.
Yeah,
you know, that's pretty neat. I don't feel like we've seen that quite the same way.
No, that is true. And that is the reverse bind that they're working with there. So you can kind of see like she'll grab onto the birds, and as the birds fly, they can drag her up, or grab onto the spider, and as the spider does the crawling, it can take her up the wall there, which I think is interesting. I like that, but I don't know, like they're trying to be so inventive with this game, Chris. Like at the same time, like they could have given Zelda her own ability instead of just make it Ultra Hand, but give it a new name. Like if you're gonna do Ultra Hand, just call it Ultra Hand at that point, not Bind.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, how do you guys feel about that mechanic? I'm fine with it, but is it something that like you're stoked to use? Is it? I'm more stoked about that than the echoes in a lot of ways, because I feel like it will make the battles, and this was my big takeaway when they originally announced this, is I thought the combat in this game was going to be extremely tedious, and this seems to ease that tediousness within the combat on here, because you can like grab the echoes and jam them into stuff, kind of ram them into enemies and stuff, which they show off with the urchin like creature, whatever that is, the spike ball guy.
Yeah, I kind of worry about like with Origami King, for example. Like I actually like the battle system in that. Yeah, I like the classic Paper Marios, and I wasn't like a big fan, and they still go in different directions with it. Mm-hmm. But I thought Origami King was cool. I was like, okay, this can kind of do its own thing, and it doesn't have to be a traditional turn-based RPG, and it kind of works. Except those battles did get a little tiresome after a while. You know, it's a lot of effort just for like almost no reward for like a Goomba. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of afraid this might feel that same way, where you have to do like some fairly complicated thing just to take out like a little Octorok or something. So I still wish there was like maybe something she could use. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sword, but something simple, you know, that you can just press the A button to use real quick or something like that. So it doesn't seem too bad, and we haven't got to play it yet, obviously, but.
Well, I think they're going to fix that by giving you Link to be able to play as later on in the game, which they did not show any of, even though it's on the ESRB site. Like you can play as Link. So I don't know. Like it's intriguing. I'm excited for it. I am going to pick this up. But you know, I don't know. Mel brings up a good point there. Echo Link.
Yeah, you get an Echo Link.
I don't know how anybody feels about that. I don't think that's what we necessarily want, but any other big takeaways? Any other big things that like maybe I missed during my watch through? Any things that you guys want to talk about?
What they got the seahorses? When you buy Zora's flippers, they were also selling seahorses. Mm-hmm. Are we going to put those in smoothies, or are we going to be cooking too?
I think
we're going to ride them.
We'll be smoothieing
Maybe
those,
they get bigger.
Just pureeing seahorses into a blender and drinking them down.
We cook the seahorses, but the land horses, they're fine. We don't hurt them.
Yeah, the land horses we don't cook. Yeah,
absolutely. Nettis has the right idea there. We can get a whole harem of Links. Just have them all wearing the Gerudo outfit and, you know, being sexy around us. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'm totally down for it.
One thing they didn't show with the binding is, like, they didn't show, like, any sort of meter like ticking down. So I don't know.
I think it's like
if you'll
permanent.
be able to.
It just feels like always, like it would be in Breath of the Wild, or well, not Breath of the Wild. My apologies, Tears of the Kingdom. Like it kind of reminds me of, until you dropped off a ledge, you could do it as long as you wanted to.
Right. It just seems odd that they would let you, like, just climb up anywhere you want with that spider without the spider getting tired or you getting tired and falling down or something.
Or if it
Just
maybe they have like locked paths though, to where like you only want to stay locked on that spider for so long because it's not going to progress you any further.
right.
Which might help with the combat being more tedious too. Because if everything has a locked path, you can just kind of plan where you need to put your echoes instead of like having to like actually go into combat where it's a little bit of RNG on where that's going to go, and having to swing your sword and hope that you knock it off a ledge, or having to do blah 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 thing and get it in the right spot. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited for the game. I think it's going to be good. If you guys spotted anything that we didn't mention during this, or maybe you've noticed some news from around the net, let us know in the comments on the YouTube video, or give us a shout here in the live chat. Otherwise, I think we're going to dive into the extra Nintendo news, and there's not a whole lot of it. So, Chris, do you want to take the extra Nintendo news, my friend? Oh, no, wait, I can do it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do them both. Do them both. Take it. Wait.
Please keep it down.
Hang on. Hang on. Isabel's introducing. Okay, now you can take it away, Chris.
By golly, I'll tell you what. So Game Freak, you might know them as people who worked on, Timbo, the badass elephant. But they are seeking some talent with numerous positions open. So if you want to work for the Pokemon making company, give it a go. Put in your resume. They got a lot of positions open, which is good because they need a lot of help over there.
Those people don't know how to make a video game to save their lives.
Yeah.
They can make the games, they just can't make the graphics and the power. And
the more powerful
these work.
Yeah, the more powerful these systems are getting, the harder time they're having.
The thing is, they're making video games that would run well on an Xbox One. JK. No games run well on an Xbox One. But the big reason it's news is because like most of these like Western companies are shutting people down and out. Like it's just so much layoffs news all the time. And it's kind of nice to see like Game Freak doing recruitment campaign in order to bring in people, and seeing growth, which is kind of crazy to me to finally see that growth after all of the news of layoffs all last year, which also news in that segment that's not on this list. Game Informer shut down this past week, which really sucks. Brian Pichet is the guy who runs the All Things Nintendo podcast. I used to listen to them before we started our own show. And he just got news that he was being laid off, and they're shutting it down. So he's on the lookout for work. Maybe we should bring him on to here. We can't pay him, but we'll bring him on.
We'll just bring him on.
Yeah, bring him on. So, but no, it is super sad about that. But that's the only other piece there that I wanted to talk about with this company, like recruiting people instead of firing people.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so they're hiring. The next bit of news, sweet mother of pearl, the Game Boy turns 35. It is 35 years old. It's not that old. It's older than the Game Boy Color.
It is older than the, congratulations, you made it older than the Game Boy Color. Everyone wish Game Boy happy birthday. One of the things that I wanted to mention during this is like some of our favorite games from that generation, specifically the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, but the OG Game Boy. And I guess we can extend it into Pocket because it wasn't a major version revision necessarily. I mean, it just made it more pocketable. But they didn't do anything new with the hardware inside necessarily. But Chris, what's your top 3 Game Boy games? Do you have a top 3? Have you thought about it?
Some that I really like, I still go back to today, is probably Revenge of the Gator, which is the arcade game, because my dad and I would pass it back and forth, and I played tons of the Game Boy because I was the youngest kid in the house. I'm older brother and older sister. And so I would get the charger for the Game Boy, have it plugged in all the time so I could play it. So us as a family, we would like sit down at the TV, and while we were on the TV, my ADHD was already kicking, and I would need to play the Game Boy while we were doing it so I could focus on the show. But so Revenge of the Gator, I played that a lot. And then, of course, I can't talk about the Game Boy without talking about the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, which there was like, I think 3 or 4 of them, but I played one a whole lot, which was a lot of fun. And then I guess if I'm only going to mention one more, I will mention the original Batman.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
On the 19. Yeah, I played it a lot on the NES too, but then I played it on the Game Boy.
I think you were the one who told me about the Darkwing Duck game as well.
Oh yeah, Darkwing
Duck. And it's a
yeah.
pretty good analog of like the NES version. Very similar to like the Batman Game Boy game, where it's a pretty good analog of the NES version of the Batman game for NES. So like I'm with you. I think those are some good picks, Chris. What about you, Josh?
DuckTales.
Off the
Not as good.
Just top of my head, sounds completely like boring, but just to come up with the ones I can think of first. Super Mario Land 2, not 1. 2 is, I love that game. That's just one of my favorites on there. Underrated 2D Mario, better than some of the NES ones. So there's that. There's Link's Awakening. I mean, honestly, the Switch version I feel like really is the best version of it, though. I still really love that game.
So much more nostalgia for the Game Boy version, but I'm with you.
Me too.
I'm with you.
Especially the DX version. I'm just, to be fair, and I have some good memories already with the Link's Awakening on Switch. Just when I got it, I was at the beach when I got it and all this stuff. But if this counts, if this isn't cheating, I would say the Game Boy camera, because I played with that thing a lot, even the little mini games in it. So
This is not the Game Boy standard camera. This is the Japanese version. The pocket camera is what they called it, but like it's the same thing.
There's that. I mean, there was other games I love. There's the Donkey Kong Land, which honestly 3 out of the Land games I think was kind of the best.
I gotta be honest. I hate those games because they look like garbage. Like you cannot see anything.
1 you really can't see. 3 on a Game Boy Color isn't too bad. But no, shoot, I would have to really sit here and think about it for a while. But that's some of my favorites.
I
know I've missed something important.
I didn't play this game whenever I was younger, but I do have a really, really big fondness for Trip World. I mean, I have a plushie on my shelf, the collector's edition of Trip World, the Game Boy Color remake that they did. My original cartridge is up there. Like, I do love Trip World a lot. But I don't feel like it's fair for me to include that one in my list of top 3 because I didn't play that one until I was an adult and I learned about, like, okay, this is an extremely rare game because it was only released in Japan and Germany, the European region, Japan region. So, like, my top 3 when I think about the Game Boy, I really love Donkey Kong 94 a lot. It's a game that I played a whole ton of, even on, like, the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. Like, I loved playing that on my TV. And it's a much better experience in the arcade. Donkey Kong. I'd say for my number 2, it probably wouldn't come as any kind of surprise for anyone, but I genuinely love the original Pokemon titles. I think they're really good. They defined a generation of gaming. in a lot of ways. And my number one game that I probably...
Your number... Can I guess it?
Yeah, guess it.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
You're wrong.
Okay. Well,
movie.
But you know, I didn't think anybody would really guess it. But my number one game, my favorite game on the Game Boy is Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land. I love
We're so close.
Wario Land.
It is a good game.
It is such a different experience from like your standard Mario fare. It has more of a Metroidvania kind of vibe to it, where like you're unlocking new pathways as you're like making special exits. You've got these 3 really cool power-ups that Wario dons by changing his hat, which was cool because like they did the hat changing mechanic in Super Mario 64. Wario, a pioneer in that era. But you had the duck hat where he could fly. You had the bull horns where he had the like super hard like rams. You had the dragon hat where he could like blow fire out the dragon's nose and like break blocks in front of him. It was just so cool. And the treasure finding mechanic and trying to get as rich as possible, so that way you could buy the moon at the end of the game was sick. Like it's my all-time favorite Game Boy game other than Trip World, I think, in a lot of ways. I really love that game. So happy birthday. Happy 35th birthday.
Happy 35th. And do check out Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's pretty good.
Shout out to it.
Yeah.
At least the movie.
And Bubble Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I just thrown that out there as well. But okay, so I could talk about the Game Boy for 4 hours. But then they also went ahead and Nintendo released a website where you can watch a cheater play Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Where they used, what was it, the invisible ladder glitch, basically, to try and climb up as fast as they can.
It's crazy because like most of those games, and like we've all spent a good enough amount of time with this game to know like this game usually, like if you go off the beaten path and do anything in the way that it doesn't want you to, it will like rewind you to the spot that you're supposed to be going. And they didn't do that with Donkey Kong. So, like, it's crazy that, like, this is featured on an official Nintendo website, Nintendo Japan, and they're okay with just being like, yeah, this guy cheated. There's, 15.68 seconds to do this challenge. It should have taken at least 25. Yeah. So, I don't know.
He's the champion,
Yeah. But, Billy, what's his name? Billy something? Is Billy Mitchell.
West.
Billy Mitchell.
He's
probably super pissed off that like Nintendo's okay with it on Nintendo World Championships to cheat. Oh man. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, it just kind of pisses me off. It's like there's no way we can compete with that unless you knew to do the cheats or were like willing to do the cheats. So
real quick rant. I don't know if my friend Zach is watching, but I'm still mad about that old Mario Odyssey cheat. You remember the jump rope challenge in Mario Odyssey?
Uh-huh.
I didn't cheat. I did not cheat it before I had to update it. And I got, what was it, like 1,552 or something like that. I can't remember. It was really high, and I was like, man, I was way up on the leaderboards, right? Then I noticed there was these outrageous numbers that were getting ahead of me, and I noticed that somebody had figured out a cheat. I was still like number 1 on my friends list out of like 15 people. But then my friend Zach decided to cheat, and he got right above me and quit. So I'm still mad about that.
So dumb.
Then they had to patch it, and I lost my score anyway. And only got like up in the hundreds.
Oh no!
I still think about that from time to time, and that was like 7 years ago.
I don't blame you.
Man, I'm old. Anyway.
Same. So's the Switch. It's time for a new one. Speaking of new things, what else new is happening, Chris?
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, there's quite a bit. The other thing that happened was Castlevania is crossing over with Dead by Daylight. And we're getting Trent Belmont and Dracula from Trevor. Not
Who's
Trent.
Trent Belmont? Is that even a person? Hang on. Trent Belmont.
Trent Belmont, I think, was in the latest Barbie movie. But
Okay.
You don't put Simon in it. How am I supposed to remember his name? There's so many Belmonts.
Let's let Dracula kill them all off. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to Trent?
Trent. He doesn't even go here.
Everyone stay together except for you, Trent. You go first. Yeah. So Trevor Belmont is a survivor, and then they got Dracula coming August 27th. Dracula right now is on the test servers, and like you turn into a werewolf and into bats, so you can like transform into different creatures while you're going on the hunt to murder all these people.
Why don't they just give us a new Castlevania?
That would be too hard.
Konami doesn't make video games anymore. They just license.
Oh yeah, they make pachinko machines or
yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all they do.
Yeah. Maybe they'll give us Castlevania 64.
Guys, if you guys are artists out there and you want to draw some fan art of what you think Trent Belmont would look like, please submit it and send it to us at podcast@nintendorewind.com and we'll feature it on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Trent Belmont for Smash.
Trent. Exactly. Yeah, I need him to be wearing pit vipers and just be a dude, bro. It strikes me as a Trent. It's kind of like a Kyle, you know.
And, Trent in Perfect Dark, he's kind of a douche canoe too. Like he's not a nice guy.
That's true.
Red like jacket.
That is true.
But then also in it's not on the list, but in Dead by Daylight fashion, yesterday they announced coming summer 2025 is Five Nights at Freddy's crossover with Dead by Daylight.
Ooh, DLC for Netist out there in the live chat. Five Nights at Freddy's DBD. It's not even on their like Twitter. Where'd you see this?
I don't even remember what Dead by Daylight is.
It's like an asymmetrical horror themed game where you're like trying to escape a monster.
You gotta like start generators.
It's so janky, but like everybody loves it. It's not my jam. It's not my jam. I used to play it a lot.
Disney.
They got Chucky on there.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of licensed horror movie icons, but for the most part, like it's just kind of janky game. They used to have Stranger Things stuff on here. I don't know if that's made a comeback yet or not, but
I believe it left and then came back, but it might have left again. And they also have like Resident Evil. They announced it yesterday. I don't know. It was just a single image.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Five Nights at Freddy's. There it is. That's not what we're looking for, though, is it?
Yeah, right there. Just that image. Yeah.
Yesterday, you're already dead. Daylight's already happened.
Dead by Daylight Tomb Raider bug fix patch. What is that?
Oh, Lara Croft is a survivor.
That doesn't make any sense. What is this game? Yeah. This is like Fortnite, but for horror people.
The blocky one. The pretty cool ones from like 10 years ago.
Triangle boobies, Lara Croft, or...
I'm not even going to say that
Nicolas Cage is in it. Nicolas Cage is a survivor.
But it's just Nicolas Cage, right? Like, it's not even like... It's just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it's just Nicolas Cage.
It's just Nicolas Cage. Who cares? Just let him be Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Going on with this game. I don't understand. You wanna go to the new game segment? You wanna do the Nintendo Fast Forward?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, let's wait for this bumper. I'll tell you when, Chris. I'll tell you. All right, you're on.
Okay, going with the rumor that there's a Pokemon Presents this week, Nintendo went ahead and announced last week that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team is coming with the paid subscription of Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pass.
Free with your Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pass.
Not free at all. Very expensive.
Very expensive. Especially if you got a family plan. It's $80.
Yeah, that's what I got. It's $80 to get one Game Boy game every 3 months. What is this?
It sounds like it.
Well, you split with different families or people.
It's true. You just split the cost.
Yeah, I get a.
He can't though. He's got too many kids that he needs to keep on that online pass. So, but I mean, it is a GBA game. It's Pokemon. I just don't know how I feel about this one. You know, why this one out of all the Pokemon
this game? I played it on the Wii U, on like a work trip. I remember for a couple weeks I played through like the whole thing. I'd never played one of these games. It was pretty good.
Is this the original?
It's a little repetitive.
Yeah, they had the separate one. Mel even mentioned it that they couldn't also have Blue because Blue is a DS game. So they had like they like to release multiple versions of their games.
They truly do.
And so they had Red Rescue, and then for the DS they had the Blue Rescue team.
Interesting. So trying to bridge that gap between consoles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is just such a weird game. That they did a remake of this one, right? This was the one they did a remake of and put it on Switch?
That's the one they did a remake on Switch, and like the reviews weren't good, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so then they got the remake, but then I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing this for 5-10 minutes and then never touching it again like most of the games on here. But yeah, this is coming out. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll release some more games in the future. And let's see, we got the demo is already available, but Cat Quest 3 is out on August 8th for none other than $19.99. Cat Quest 1 and 2 it seemed to get a little bit better. Hopefully 3 is even better. The reviews are out. I like the way it looks with like I just like the look of the game, sort of, but also kind of don't like it at all.
It reminds me of like a souped up Flash game. Is what it reminds me of. I don't know why.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
This game just never struck me as something that like I was like, I have to play this. Cat Quest 1, Cat Quest 2. You know, and then like I've had friends that played it, said they enjoyed the gameplay. But like it's just never been like something I'm like, I love this. This is my type of game.
It's kind of looks like another. Yeah. The little boat thing looks pretty cool. Like it has the map, has like the names.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like on the oceans and stuff. That was kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you picking this one up, Chris? This is one you're going to play?
Nah, not unless they send me a code.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
In advance. But yeah, I think this is one, I have the other two. I haven't played more than 20 minutes of each one. So I'm not sure I will be. I don't even know how excited I would be to play it if I got the code.
The most excited.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's out. You can go ahead and download the demo for yourself. See if you think that game might be something for you. But then they also have also coming out on the 8th for $10 more, except for the launch sale, which is SteamWorld Heist 2, which is kind of like the 2D, tactics game. The first one, okay. I kind of liked it. This one, yeah, I got bored of it as well. Yeah, it was probably my least favorite outside of I think I said this before the show. Outside of the build, it was probably my least favorite. But yeah, you can kind of go. You get the first mission of the game. You go and have to rescue your submarine, and then once you get your submarine, then you can kind of go swim around, if that's what you call a submarine, move around in the water and go from area to area, and then you're rescuing other people and crewmates that then come onto the submarine and help expand the submarine to give you different abilities and different things. Not only that you can do on the sub, but then go from port to port doing different missions and things like that. But yeah, this one seems to be reviewing pretty well. I think it's like 782 maybe on OpenCritic.
The first one was pretty well reviewed in general too. And
yeah,
everything I'm seeing is, they took what they did good in the first one and just made everything better. So if you're interested in it, it's like turn-based tactics, like physics shooter kind of situation. Like, it's interesting.
2D, yeah.
Yep. Go check it out. And then what do we have? We got one more game or one more thing?
We got one more thing, which is Cult of the Lamb, which is Unholy Alliance DLC, which is there's no eShop listing. Usually these get listings like right when they go live.
Yeah, they'll be like tied into the actual like store page for the main game.
Right. Yeah. And this has co-op, so you'll be able to do co-op and another playable character, which is what is it? The sheep?
The goat. So the sheep is was the first playable character, and then they're introducing the goat as a second playable character. Which I'm interested in the multiplayer on this. I'm absolutely interested in the multiplayer on it because I think it'd be interesting. Like, that game, like, it is such a single player experience, but at the same time, like, how do they make that work within a multiplayer kind of style? Like, I mean, the battle system that'll make things a little bit easier unless it scales. But like, who's actually making the decisions on the city? Like, who's making decisions on your little settlement church area? Who is the person who is the leader of the cult at that point? So I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll let you start a new game as the goat.
I would say you probably get the chance to pick your pro tag. This isn't the only DLC that's launching for this on the same day too. There's another DLC coming that they just announced a couple of days ago. It has an interactive comic that gives you, like, as you go through it and you make choices in it. It's like a choose your own adventure comic book. As you make your choices, it gives you like stuff for your cult and buffs and different things like that. So that's pretty cool too. Those DLCs are typically about $6.99, depending on the DLC, but like, they're all typically $6.99 for Cult of the Lamb. So I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Buy it.
Yeah.
Go get it. Pick it up. That brings us to the end of the show. We don't have a Histowee planned because I was sick and still am and didn't have time to plan it all out. So no Histowee this week. So Josh, Chris, you guys, you're lucky. You don't get grilled right here at the very end of the show.
We don't even get a point.
No, there's no point. Maybe I'll just award a point.
Me and the Game Boy both turned 35 in July of this year.
How does it feel?
So there's a little Histowee for you.
That's your Histowee. What turned 35 during the same time? I just, honestly, I'm cracking up at the fact that, like, it took them 35 years to put a Diddy icon on the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah. We had the dubious food from Breath of the Wild before
the Super Nintendo days. And the 64, he was one of the big players, And now they just throw him aside.
Ever since he had that crappy racing game. One quick thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Chris is definitely in the Mario Kart 64 camp. He's with me.
I love that game too. But
no, I like Diddy Race.
Which one did you like more? Which one do you like more?
I don't know. Well, I haven't played Diddy Kong Racing in a while because Nintendo won't let me legally.
No, they won't. They don't want you to.
But
I think it's not as good.
I know going back and playing Mario Kart 64 now, and I'd rather just watch paint dry. Just not a very good experience. But the one thing I wanted to mention before we finish up is the DLC, the co-op is a free update. So co-op is free, so you'll be able to do that for free. But then, playing the goat seems to be, the goat seems to be the DLC that you're paying for.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that info, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
How many? We talked about this the other night. How many supporters do we need to go sign up to support the show so we can get you on Facecam?
200.
That's way too many. We don't have that many people that listen to us on a weekly basis.
He's just a me. He's not real.
Yeah,
he is just a me. It's just
Yeah,
fake
imagine
Chris.
him.
Fake,
I'm just an AI. Yeah,
pink shirty Chris. Netta says he'll pay $20. He'll pay you specifically $20.
$20 just for a face pic.
$20.
Yeah.
$20.
Permanent,
That's nice.
permanent full-time face cam from Chris Becker. $30 for feet, though.
$20. Give me a second.
Yep. Hang on one moment. Oh, man. That about wraps up this episode of Nintendo Rewind. Josh, where can they find you, my friend?
Well, my address is I am most places as Whopper.
Do not tempt
744.
Chris because he will absolutely put addresses and phone numbers in the chat.
Yep.
On X, Twitter, whatever the heck you want to call that place, it is at Whopper744 Games because the other thing was taken. Long story short, but yeah, pretty much just look for Whopper744 places and I'm there.
Absolutely. What about you, Chris?
Yep. Go ahead, check out Whopper, and then you can also get your Disney Speedstorm code there.
Where can they find you, though?
Send me some. If you have Speedstorm codes, and Adam, play me.
Adam, play him. Yeah. But you can find me Super Nintendo on pretty much everything. Those things I actually use at least. What about you, Cody?
You find me Nerdwire Plays. Usually on Twitch nightly, but this past week I've not been feeling good. I am here. Here I am. Not been feeling good, so I haven't been live on my own channel for the last week, and likely won't be until I'm fully recovered. But you can find me in Nerdwire Plays, Twitch, Twitter, Threads, all the T sites. So you can find me everywhere that way. A couple of things. If you do want to support the show, you can do so over at NintendoRewind.com and sign up to support the show directly. We get 95% of the money from that, and it kind of helps us be able to hopefully increase the production value of the show and be able to do some cool things, some cooler things on here. Legitimately, if you do support us, you know that it is seriously thankful. Again, another big thank you to Calamity Nolan, CR Christian, and Shiny Bird for supporting the show. And you can catch all our past videos, episodes in video form over at youtube.com/@the-Nintendo-Rewind. Visit our site for all of our social media pages. Do want to thank you guys so much for watching and catch us live weekly right here on twitch.tv/Nintendo Rewind, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesdays. That being said, we're gonna say a goodbye. And boys, I'm hanging up as soon as we go to the end screen here. So I'll see you when I see you.
Oh yeah.
Bye, friends.
All right. More mania.
Get better.
Bye.